Unlike Yamaha, which has completely killed off its offering in the large displacement adventure class, the Super Tenere 1200, because it was just too difficult to update and make competitive, Triumph has heavily invested in this very profitable segment of motorcycling. At the beginning of this month, Triumph teased their new flagship adventure bike, the Tiger 1200, with a couple of action shots and a short video showing off what seems to be a complete overhaul of their big cat. Quite a lot can be seen from these photos. They've also announced that the new engine is completely bipolar. They really want to shake things up in this class, so if this is something that interests you, stick around. Alright, so these new teaser images of the large Tiger really do show it production ready, jumping through the air like a mad cat, even though there is camo covering any places a paint job will be applied. However, what can clearly be seen is a brand new shaft drive. One of the #1 reasons I decided to go for the GS instead of any other offerings. Yes, I know it's heavier than a chain drive, I know it digs the rear tire into mud like an elephant taking a bath instead of lifting it out like a chain does, but I don't have to clean it. Ever. Or lube it for that matter. This move alone, however, will see a lot of GS owners, especially in Europe where Triumph's dealer network is a lot more developed, actually look at the Tiger 1200 instead of the GS, myself included, but mostly because of the new engine, which Triumph promises will be fun. Powerful as well, but most importantly, fun. The engine is brand new and at the moment it's being used in the Speed Triple 1200 RS. The 1160cc triple in that bike puts out almost 180 horsepower, madness, but that is a Speed Triple, so in the Tiger I'm expecting something in the 150 horsepower range, but with a lot more low-down torque. However, that is not its party piece. The new T-plane crank configuration is. Now, I'll be honest with you, I got Dave to explain this seemingly complicated idea to me, and after 2 very long hours, I found myself imagining what it would feel like if I jumped out of a plane without a parachute. Now, not wanting to subject you to the same torture, the gist of it is this. It has a lot more to do with the way it delivers its power than with how much power it actually makes. If Triumph's triples until now had a 120-degree crank configuration, which meant the pistons were being fired at equal intervals, the T-plane does not. The first 2 cylinders fire closer together, then there's a pause and the third one fires up. This, together with Triumph's 1-3-2 firing order, gives the bike an uneven power delivery. Now, this might sound like a disadvantage, I hear you say, but it's not. With an adventure bike, it's exactly what you want in a triple. It means that at lower revs, somewhere below 4000 RPM, the engine is not just gonna spin the back wheel and bury it in the sand you're already stuck in, but actually apply more torque and controlled power to help you get out of that rut. Similar to the way a tractor delivers its power, for example. Then, once you're at higher RPMs, the engine will come alive and the power delivery will be a lot smoother. To quote Triumph on this, minus the British accent, the bike offers more power and character than its closest competition, the only other shaft-driven bike in the class. Best of both worlds, definitely bipolar, and one of the main reasons I am personally excited about this bike. Kudos to Triumph. Moving on to the front of the bike, we can clearly see that the design cues are very similar to the Tiger 900, which makes the larger 1200 look sleeker and less imposing. The large radiator that was just behind the front wheel has been transformed into 2 separate radiators which are mounted to the side panels. This has a double advantage and should actually be the only way to mount radiators on an off-road bike. Firstly, you're not going to be clogging them up with mud and other debris debris, and secondly, the bike's wheelbase can be made shorter since the front wheel will not be hitting the radiator when the suspension compresses, leading to a more agile bike, which again is what you want off-road. A huge drop in weight is to be expected as well. The current model comes in at around 580 pounds or 265 kilograms, which is just absolutely nuts, even for a big adventure bike. But with a redesigned chassis, engine, swing arm, pretty much all of the bike, Triumph really has a chance to impress us all. Premium components like Brembo's Stylemma calipers can also be seen. Stylemma, those are Brembo's top shelf components. Tubeless tires, probably a vast array of rider aids and creature comforts. Triumph is really not joking around with the new Tiger. They are going after a very well-established part of the motorcycling world, a very lucrative one, and they definitely have the know-how and experience to pull this off. So yeah, I am definitely excited about this one. It will probably be unveiled at EICMA in November or just before that. But in the meantime, why don't you drop down in the comments below and let us all know what you hope they bring to the table with the new Tiger 1200. What would be the #1 thing that you want to see on it? Let us know down below. Well, that's the show for today, everyone. If you've enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, and if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing or becoming one of our patrons to help us make more of these shows. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.